G'day, welcome back to another episode of TOGL. Well, what a beautiful day today. It is a stunning morning. 8:30 in the morning, 20 degrees, very light wind. This is the weather I've been hanging out for. So absolutely beautiful. Looking forward to getting some stuff done today, and then I've got a Christmas lunch to go to today. So anyway, this morning what I'm going to do is I want to get a couple more sheets on here. On the end there, but I've also up along the top, which you can't see at the moment, I need to put the flashing over the top just to stop any water. So you've got the tin that comes along for the roof, and you've got that wall that comes up, and then there's a bracket that needs to go across the top just to seal all that in. So I want to get some of that done this morning as well. As well as that, I've got to go and check the bees, so I might do that first, have a quick check of the bees, make sure everything's okay, because it's a really good morning to be opening up the hives and having a look there as well. And we'll see what else we get up to over the next few days. Well, interestingly, most of the hives are doing really well. There's one up the end there that I actually have to put a third box on because they're actually starting to build right up onto the lid. There's honey, so the guys up the end there are doing, that end one are doing really well. This first one here, all the bees are gone. Interesting, I'm not sure why, but that's okay. So what I was doing there was I was working out what am I going to swap where to where. You're probably hearing a lot of buzzing. I can see there's a lot of bees inside my little fluffy mic on top. So this lot over here were a swarm that I picked up yesterday, and then when this was empty they had a box of really good foundation I wanted to put over in that one, and I was initially going to bring them over to here, and then I remembered that you shouldn't move them to, like, if you're going to move them, you move them more than 300 meters. So then I was like, okay, well I need to bring the box of good foundations over to them. Then I'll put a good lid on it. So I was just mucking around a bit. But yeah, no, they're all looking really good. This second one there, right behind me, they are angry. They are really, most of these bees are from that one. They are really angry bees, those ones. So that queen will be getting swapped out at some point as well. The rest of them, though, they're all really good. So I haven't checked the front one yet, but I can see a lot of bees going in and out. I'm happy with them. So yeah, let's get back down to the shed and let's get some more building done down there. Well, we weren't supposed to get rain today, but over the last 15 minutes there's been a lot of thunder rumbling out the back there, and it's getting closer. Big dark clouds. I don't know whether it's going to go that way or whether it's going to come in this way and end up over top of us, but I better get this barge capping on before that rain hits. Well, I managed to get those 3 gable ends on, which is great, with barge caps, I think they call them. I haven't finished screwing it off totally, but I've got enough on there now that it's going to hold it. It'll stop the rain getting in. Looks nice there, but you look out over this way and there's still that thunder really grumbling out there. So we'll see, we might get some rain. But anyway, now it's time for me to go and get myself ready and head out for our Christmas lunch. Right, well, this morning I was doing a bit more on getting that wire over the veggie garden. It's got quite warm out there now. The sun's really fierce. Even though the temperatures don't necessarily get incredibly high like other parts of the country, I don't know what it is down here, but you only got to be out in that sun 20 minutes and you get absolutely roasted, so got to be careful with that. So now I'm back up here and on the mezzanine floor, and it's time to finish putting all the screws in. If you recall from the last episode, when I was putting the floor up, I was only putting a screw either side of the edge. Now I've got to put the screws through the middle. So to do that, I use a string line, run a line right along where the beam is, and then I'll get the screws in. So you just pull it really tight and flip. And it leaves a chalk line on the floor, very faint, because I need to put some more chalk in here, but it's enough for me to see. And now I can just go along, and I've got the marks on the board. Every so far they reckon it should be. There's my line there though. So we want to put one there. And then I'll just work my way up the line, wherever these marks are, but put it on the line, which is where the beam is. So we're just screwing it in to the beam all the way along. And every now and then I find one that I missed. There's one on the edge here that I missed last time, so I better get that in. And then just keep working my way along. And that's the floor all screwed down now. Well, the floorboards that I've got up, I've still got just these last 2 sections to do. So I'll need to go down and start cutting some board to fill in right to the end. That's the mezzanine in. I just need to run 2 string lines, get those last couple of screws in, give it a sweep down, but all the boards are in place. Beautiful. Wow, another day in Tassie paradise, a lovely summer day. The summer weather didn't last very long at all. The last 3 days the weather has progressively got worse. It's currently the 24th, the day before Christmas. It's cold, it's raining. We've lit the fire the last couple of days.
Oh, I don't know why, but I've always loved the idea of summer and sun and all things hot.
Really? I'm guessing you don't have much experience with heat.
Nope. But sometimes I like to close my eyes and imagine what it'd be like when summer does come.
And there's parts of Tassie that are expecting to get a white Christmas tomorrow. Absolutely insane. So I'm glad that I've got some indoors work to do. We had all of our timber delivered, it was either last week or the week before. It was dropped off in packs just outside. Today I've broken that down and moved it in between rainstorms and just finished now as this next lot of rain has started. This is all what they call MGP 10 certified timber. And that is a certification of structural integrity, so it's used for structural. So I've got 90 by 35s in 2400 mil, and I've got 90 by 45s in 6000 mil. And that's what we're going to use to start building the internal frames and get some windows in. Let's get started on that. So the first thing we need to do is consult our plan, our floor plan. So the wall that I'm going to work on is this one right here to start with. Now I can see here, this window is window W6. Okay, so I'll build this wall here. That there is the steel post, which I'll show you in a second for reference. So yeah, W6, D's are doors. I'll work on that later. So W6, and then if I come over here, I transposed all of this out of the plans the Windows guys sent. So W6 and 7, they are to be a gap of 1060 by 1870. So I know I need to make this gap that amount. So this was that steel post I was talking about, that one right there. So this is the piece of wall. So I know the size I need to make for where the window will go. I know the distance off of this post out to where the window will start. So I need to build a frame that will come up. Now the frame has to come up not right to the top, because I need to be able to put a rafter in there. And those rafters are 120 mil deep. So I need to be able to get a rafter 120 mil to sit on top of this wall. So the wall has to be that bit shorter as well. Got to take all these things into consideration as I start to put this together. So this very first one, I'll be going very slow time, just laying out the timbers, slowly working my way through it. The vertical posts, the studs, they need to be every 450 mil on center. So I have to have that planned out, and then it'll be dynabolted down to the concrete. Those dynabolts have to be every 1200 mil, so 1200 mil spacing. All of these things we've got to make sure that we do right. Once I've done one, I'll be a lot happier, and then I'll move on with the others. Now, yes, you can see that solid shed wall. And the idea of that was I can get this timber wall built. If it rains, I'm out of the wind anyway, it really doesn't matter. I'll get the wall built. Then when I know I've got a good window of opportunity with the weather, what I can do is take a couple of metal panels off and that sarking, put the window straight into the hole, fix it all up, cut the metal to fit back around it. And I'll do that for each section as I get to each window and doorway. So these pieces are 2.4s, which is great, together 4.8. And it's basically from centre of post to centre of that post is 5 metres. So there's only just the tiniest little space there, which is totally fine. I'll get a wall fit in there perfectly. Hopefully you can hear me over the rain. It's just starting to rain a little bit. Plus it's windy. Now, when I take one of these 2400 pieces and then measure from that beam down, that's 120 mil. And 120 mil is the exact depth of the rafter, which is going to go up there. I want to give myself a little bit to play with, so I'd rather that gap be 125. Now I also have to put a top cap over this as well, like the top timbers. And I've actually decided, because it's going to be supporting the weight of the roof as well, I'm not just going to put a single 90 by 45, I'm actually going to put two 90 by 45s, which is going to give me a 90 by 90 beam that's going to sit on top of these studs. So that means I need to cut this timber down by the 90 and the other 5 mil that I need for a gap, that I want to have that little bit of space to play with. So each one of these I will need to cut down by another 95 mil. When I assemble the frame, it should go up and give me the gap of 125 that I want between the top of the frame that I'm going to build and that purlin up there. Now, to join these two pieces together, I've cut myself another length, which I'm going to nail on right between two studs. So there'll be a stud against that side and against the other side. And that is going to really firm this up. So just to make sure that I don't nail it like that and get it nice and straight, I'm pushing it up against the girt. Keep everything straight. Okay. Now as I assemble this wall, I'm going to assemble on the ground, so this needs to be rolled over. And we start to build our wall. Well, I got the basic framework laid out. This is the space for the window. There's just a little bit more I need to do. I'll just explain this beam and this one, I should say this stud and that one. They are the 90 by 45s, the rest are 90 by 35s. The floor one, 90 by 35, the top one, 90 by 45, and I will put a second one on top of that once I've nailed the first one into place. Now what I do have to work out though is I need to get the top and bottom, so the top and bottom of the window there, and then put a couple more studs above and below that. So I'll just get that worked out, and then we'll be ready to start, mate. Exact measurement both ways, perfectly square. Ran out of nails, didn't I? Didn't realise. These nails I'm using are 75mm long. Let's try that again. Okay, that's the main part, the outside. Now I just got to do the windows bit. Right. Okay. I'll double check my measurements. That's showing me 1,090. I actually need 1,060. So I must have miscalculated slightly. What's this one? Yeah, 1,090. It's actually saying 1,095. Now, if I go back through my math, I can tell you exactly where I've gone wrong on that, I reckon. Because the difference between 1,060 and 1,095 is 35mm. These are 90 by 35s. I think somewhere I miscalculated one of these beams. I could just put another one in and make up the space, or I could use the scrap I've got, although I've already nailed them in, replace 4 of them. Now, I wanted the window to be 1,000 off the floor, And if I can get somewhere to measure that properly, I'll do it from this way. That is 1,000, which is good. Yeah, that's 1,000. So the window height will be about there, the base of it. So I don't want to, if I do go, which I think I'm going to go, is just put another 35 by 90 in. But I won't put it down at the bottom, because that'll lift the window higher, so I'll have to go at the top. It's not something I want to make up with spaces and stuff, so yeah, I reckon that's what I'll do. So I look at that. Yeah, I'm definitely at 1,095, so if I put another 35 in there, I'm at 1,060 where I'm supposed to be at. So, simple fix. Alright, let's finish nailing this in. And Kay's just let me know that it is clocked 57 kilometres an hour wind speed up at the little house. Up on the hill there, as you know, it's so much windier than down here. It's bloody windy down here right now, but up there it's just howling. Crazy. And it's cold. Like, it's really starting to get cold. I think I'll be putting my jacket back on in a second. You can feel that iciness in the air. The air temperature's dropping. So we'll probably end up with some hail. But yeah, I can definitely see there'll be that white Christmas they're talking about for some of the people further inland. I was just starting to move this up a bit closer to the wall so I could stand it. Remembered, one more thing I have to do. Seems like every time I think I've done this, one more thing. I need to drill the holes for these dynabolts. So they need to be 1200, every 1200. So I need to mark that, drill the holes through the timber, then I can mark on the concrete. I can use the masonry drill to drill the holes in the concrete. I'm not going to use the chem set for this. It's just holding the frame. There's going to be no major sideways pressure or anything like the shed itself, where it's got the forces of the wind and everything. This is really just to hold that bottom there. So anyway, I'm just going to use normal dynabolts. So yeah, every 1200. Frame's finished. So now I'm going to attempt to stand this, see if I can stand it by myself. If not, I'll call in some help. I'll get it stood up. I just put some clamps there so I can clamp it to those girts just to keep it up, whilst I then drill the holes into the concrete and get the masonry bits in, the dynabolts. I gotta tell you, it wasn't as heavy as I thought it would be actually, but looking at that, that really makes my year. That is awesome. Up until now, I've been building a shed, but now it feels like I'm really building our home. To see that frame up like that is really good. I'm so stoked with that. Hopefully the window will fit in. It should. I've done it to the exact measurements that the window guys told me to do. Everything's square. I just really took my time. I've taken a few hours just to put that frame together, and other more experienced builders will be like, I knocked it up in 20 minutes. Well, I've just been really triple checking everything, just taking my time, enjoying the process. As you can probably hear from the wind, the weather's shocking out there. I'm quite happy to just be in here working, so that's great. So now I'm just going to pop in those Dynabolts, and then that's going to be it. I'm going to give myself the rest of the day off, I think. Let's get these bolts in. Right, these are the bolts that I'm using, the Dynabolts. I don't know how well they are in focus. Basically, there's a nut on the end. They have a sleeve, and what happens is, as you tighten up the nut, it pulls the bolt up, which is shaped like a bit of a trumpet. And as it slides up in, this sleeve will actually spread apart, and it wedges itself into the hole. So you've got to have the exact right hole. Now, what I'm also doing is putting some washers on as well, and that's just to give it that extra pressure down on the timber. So basically, instead of just having the diameter of the nut that's holding, you pop a washer over, and then you've got an even bigger diameter. So yeah, the washer, the nut, the Dynabolts, we'll get them in there. Well, that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed getting it 48 hours early. A little Christmas present for you guys. And with that, Merry Christmas to everyone. Or Happy Holidays, whatever the festivities are that you're celebrating, the holidays. I hope you have a great one. Stay safe around this time of year. We've had a really good year this year, and I'm looking forward. Next year's going to be a doozy. Hopefully summer will come soon. It's raining again. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Until next week, which will be next month and next year. Stay safe, take care, have a great week. Hope you have a great Christmas too. Cheers.